Right, this is a quick one to any of you out there who have got kids or who have got a missus who, either one of them, that are partial to sticking their feet on the dash when they're sat in the front passenger seat. Don't let them do it, and it's not because of the dash, right? Have you ever seen what happens in an impact when people have got their feet on the dash, let alone if the airbag goes off? They end up with multiple fractures, broken bones, and at the worst case scenario, parts of their legs go straight through their head and they're killed. So as much as it might be comfy and all the rest of it, I wouldn't do it if I were you. Just saying. Have a look on YouTube. I can't put it on here. Or maybe just go on to Google and look into it. It's horrendous. I mean, you can imagine having a small frontal impact, right? And then that person either can't walk properly for the rest of their life, or dead, or whatever, or because they want to get comfy in the front. I know, like, women like to bring their levers up, their feet up when they're on the sofa, or they want to put the feet on the dash and stuff. I get it, but if you didn't have an airbag, it wouldn't be quite so bad. Well, it would if you had an impact without an airbag. Just don't do it. All right, it's just a really, really, really bad idea. And if you've got kids, don't let them do it. And if they won't listen to you, show them pictures. Because at the end of the day, let's be real here. Oh, it might offend them, it might give them nightmares, but it's better that than they end up smashed to bits. So there you are. All right. Anyway, you're having a lovely day. It is sunny out here. It's gorgeous. Went out for a 6.4 mile walk yesterday, by the way, and I can't tell you how good having a walk is for you the next day. Not at the time. At the time it's fine as well, but next day, honestly, it's like you're on uppers. It's like everything's much better. I got a smile on my face a lot for today, and there's no reason for it. I'm stuck in bloody traffic. It's a Friday, but I'm pleased. I'm happy. The body's happy. Everything is right. You're doing the right thing. So much so, I'm off to a bike shop with my mate tomorrow as well, because I've made new friends to go walking with, so we're sorting that out. Now my mate goes, well, since you're into the exercise, I want to take you to the gym. Fine. And I thought to myself, since I'm not actually struggling with any of this, 6.4 up down dale like this, tracks up through the woods, all the rest of it, no problem at all. I'm surprised, but happy. So I thought to myself, because I used to really enjoy riding my bike, why don't I get a bike? I had, back in the day, I was driving illegally at the time, and my friend needed a car, and I had a sensible car at the time, Vauxhall Carlton. Anybody remember them? I had one of them, and he said, I'll have your car and I will buy you a new bike. Well, this was great to me. I thought ideal. And he bought me a Scott mountain bike with suspension at the front. There was adjustable. Not that I ever worked out how to adjust it. That was, and V-brakes. V-brakes were brilliant back then because I only had shat brakes in the past. So I did some serious miles on this thing and I loved it. Went everywhere. And I'm thinking to myself, why don't I, because I've got mates with bikes and I live next to a cycle path, and you can literally take yourself all the way to Bristol or all the way down south or whatever. So, you know, or I could ride a Western, go along the prom or whatever. So I'm going to go look at a bike. Now, it has to be a bit of everything really, and I don't want one of those razor blades. Not just that. It seems to me that the people that buy one of those razor blades and they're light as you like, they've got to do X amount of miles to keep fit. Whereas if you get an all-rounder, which is a bit harder to ride on the road, then you're going to be getting your exercise as well. But I might not know what I'm talking. I probably don't know what I'm talking. In fact, chances are that I won't be knowing what I'm talking about. But my mate said to me, and you can correct me if I'm wrong here, because I was looking at a cheap bike. He went, buy cheap, buy twice. I went, yeah, get that. And he said, you want something with suspension front and rear that you can lock out. I went, well, why? And he said, well, it's simple. He said, if you have your suspension working while you're on the road, right, and you're trying to make progress, he says that'll take a lot of the effort. It'll suck up a lot of the effort. It'll be harder. So you can lock the suspension out when you're on the road to make your pedaling more efficient. Some of you will understand this. I get it, right? And he says when you go off-road, you can unlock it. And I said, well, haven't you got big fat tyres? He said, well, I have. And I said, well, doesn't it make it harder to ride on the road? He said, well, I just pump them up a bit. I was like, okay. So we're going to go to a professional bike shop tomorrow where they can either counter what he says or go along with what he says, but I can get measured up and then buy a bike accordingly. So that might be a few quid, but I feel it'd be worth it because you can go out in the winter time with that. Whereas you might not really want to go out on the motorbike in the winter, because if you went down on the motorbike at fuck knows what speed, that's going to hurt. And I'm not saying it's not going to hurt on a push bike, because you can do some speed on that, but I just think, why not? You know, I'm not drinking still, not missing or drinking, I'm getting fitter, that's for sure, and I'm liking it. So treat yourself to a bike. I mean, think of the money I'm saving. What do we work it out? It was somewhere between 150 and 250 quid a week, right, on spent money on stuff like the alcohol and things like that, let alone the money that I was missing out on because I wouldn't take the extra days working, or I wouldn't sometimes go in because I just felt so utterly depressed. That's another thing. All of that lot, so much is changing that I need to do an update at some point to give you the pluses, and there's no negatives anymore, right? I can't say that, there was very few negatives in the first place, but the positives, I need to write a long list, because most people in my position, the way I was 6 months ago, wouldn't believe the difference that your brain rewires itself when you're doing a few things, like you give up drinking, do a bit of exercise and fasting. I can't tell you, my brain is almost back, to the way it was when I was younger, and the optimism, the getting more alert. So I've had to drop the medication because that was for when I was completely depressed, right, and heavily drinking, and it's too much as it is at the moment, by the way, considering that I was never exercising before, which gives you benefits. I was binge drinking, which gives you massive downs, and my brain was badly wired at the time anyway because of all the binge drinking. So all of that out, the medication's way too high, so that's a reduction, which will also then increase the things. Remember what I was talking about yesterday on here, which will also impress. It's all, but there you go. So if any of you think that you couldn't manage without it because it's so integrally ingrained in your life, a few months will change all of that, and you'll get back the part of you that you lost since you were young, and I promise you that, alright? Whether you want to or not, as long as you follow a few steps, right? Keep occupied, try exercising with friends, alright? Get out there, and even if you've got to do it on your own, which, you know, it's fine, stick your headphones on if you have to, right? But get out there, and just keep at it, and you won't need, I don't think, right, but I'm not a doctor, so don't quote me on this, but in the end I don't think you're going to need any medication, because did you need medication when you were a kid? Before you started messing with drugs and alcohol and all the rest of it? And I can't help but think that some of this is reversible, and that is your outlook, moreover. Now, you may have done far worse than me in your life, alcohol-wise and drugs-wise, and I don't know if you've done any permanent harm, but I would suggest that exercise, fasting, and giving up all that shit, you're never going to feel so good in all your life. And the only thing I'm getting now is what a wasted bunch of years I've had. But I've got to look at it in a different way. And the way I've got to look at it now is, oh well, at least all that time that you weren't out doing all this exercise and all this crazy things that you could have been doing, at least your body's not screwed. It's so much as all your joints are alright and everything else. That's the only way I can look at it. You've got to look at it in an optimistic side, otherwise you're going to get really down. All of that I could have done if I'd have known. But hindsight's great, isn't it? And hindsight's one of the biggest punishers in your life. Oh, well, look, if you hadn't done, yeah, well, I did. All right? Move on. Move past that. Do new things. So, yeah. But I have to say, at the moment, I'm enjoying this Man Up channel and explaining to you the changes and explaining to you lots of different things, my thoughts and stuff. I'm enjoying this far more than doing the Reverend Simon Sideways bringing the bad news, because we all know there's bad news. We don't need any more. But at some point I probably will get back to that, or whatever. But at the moment I have to say I'm having fun, believe it or not, for the first time really in years. Get pissed is fun, I won't lie, it's, for a while it is, but the fucking after effect and the guilt and all the rest of that shit. It's just, that's horrible. I wouldn't wish it on anyone. A shame. So yeah, hope you're all well. This was a bit more of a ramble. I have seen in the comments that you like me rambles, so you're having it. Both barrels. But yeah, and as you can see, I am in a different vehicle today. I'm on a bendy, which is nice. Because I was naughty today, I bought, has anybody ever had these, by the way? It's an apple and cream turnover. Mate, I've never had them before. Oh my God. I can eat them until they come out of my ears. I'm not, but it's a treat. Friday, right? And as I burnt over 700 stupid amount of calories with Gunnery Sergeant fucking, what do I call her? She's funny, she is. What was it? From Heartbreak Ridge, Gunnery Sergeant Highway. That's it, that's what I called it. I can't keep up and down. But yeah, I had that, and those sausage rolls that have got chorizo in them. I've been good all week, fuck it. Anyway, I hope you're all good. And I'll keep you posted. And at some point, I might even take some videos. Mate, that's what I was going to say. I've lived in the village just outside of Weston for 12, getting on for 13 years, right? And I've never been anywhere around the flipping place because I went to the pub and the chippy and the curry house and the other pub, and that was it. I didn't know where any of the roads were. Mate, there's so many paths and tracks around where I live. Gunnery Sergeant last night, Tracy, she took me up on these different, I didn't even know they existed. It's beautiful. And I suppose if you're a lunatic, you can go there in all the different weathers. It's nice at the moment. And I'm amazed. All of this I've missed out on. But, get on with it now, innit? Anyway, happy Friday to you. The traffic's moving, at least for now. It's fucked earlier on. And I'll give you a heads up or an update or whatever it is on everything else. And the bike, if I buy one. Why not? See you in a bit.